People with empathy, people who care about other people, often want to see other people happy. So it becomes very frustrating when the person you love and care about, who you think loves and cares about you, never seems happy. No matter what you do for them, it always seems wrong. That parent that you're hoping for is never there for you. However, when it meets a need of their own, they suddenly come round and want you to be there for them. That partner who once sold you all the dreams of the future but made out that they wanted those very same dreams as you, suddenly, no matter what you do, it is never right for them. This video is going to explain a few things about what you do that narcissists don't like, and why no matter what you do, it's never going to change who they are as a person. If they are on the spectrum of the disorder, they have those underlying traits, those underlying characteristics, and it is who they are. It is the way they think. It's the things that they believe in. It's their core values. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support of the channel. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about the narcissist personality disorder, to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with in your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you overcome narcissistic abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. So what do we do that narcissists don't like? The first thing we do is say no to them. Saying no to a narcissist questions their sense of entitlement. It questions their belief that they are special. It questions their arrogance. It questions the fact that they believe they deserve excessive attention and admiration. To say no to a narcissist is one of the major red flags, because they do not take no very well. There is people that aren't on the spectrum of the disorder that don't like the word no. And there is people where if you were to invite them out somewhere, if they were to invite you out somewhere and you said no to them because you had other plans, they might think it's in your best interest. So they might try and guilt trip you in some way, or plead with you, or come on, you'd really enjoy it. I'd really like it if you were there. They are coming from a good place. At some point they would drop it. They would not try and gaslight you. They wouldn't fall silent on you. They wouldn't suddenly rage at you. They would try if they thought that you would enjoy it, and then they would drop it and they would just carry on being your friend, being your partner, being your parent. They wouldn't get as moody, as angry, in such a rage. There wouldn't be the blame shifting. There wouldn't be the major guilt trips. There wouldn't be the gaslighting that a narcissist would do when you say no to them. When you say no to a narcissist, it criticises them because they believe they are right and they believe they are entitled. When you say no to a narcissist, many of them class this as a challenge to take down your boundaries. So we have to say no, we have to stick to our no, and we have to show them who we are as a person. Narcissists aren't looking to compromise. They're not looking to understand you. They're not looking to see it from your point of view, only their own. So most often when we say no to them, many will up their games. And this doesn't mean we have to change our no to a yes. This means that we needed to say no in the first place, because the only people who don't like our no, the only people who don't like our boundaries are those who benefited from us having no boundaries, from those who benefited from us saying yes to them, from those who benefited from us pleasing them, those who benefited from us serving them. However, They never wanted to please us genuinely. They never wanted to serve us. They never wanted to give to us. They only want to give if there is something they can take. When you stop playing along with their games, when you stop feeding that attention to them. So with a narcissist, for example, if you've said no to them and they've taken this as criticism in some way, they are going to chip away at anything they can within you, usually your insecurities or something that you care about the most, as they know these are the things you are going to most passionately defend. It is human nature to want to defend ourselves. It's human nature to want to explain ourselves. So when we've said no to them, they've then got the face on. So they are going to chip away at us to get us to react to them, so that they can blame our reactions as being the problem and not their actions, so that they can guilt trip us into questioning our no and turning our no into a yes. So when we can recognize what they are trying to do, when we can recognize that by me defending myself to you, I am playing into your hands. By me explaining myself to you, I am playing into your hands. They're not coming from the same level of awareness. They lack the empathy to understand other people's opinions. They refuse to listen to other people's perspectives. They refuse to admit faults. They always think that they are right. They get really annoyed when you can't see their point of view. So because you've said no to them, and they're then chipping away at you to get that reaction. So once you can recognise the game they are playing and you step away, you retreat, you rethink and remember the whole situation in its entirety, what actually kicked the situation off. The narcissist asked you something, you said no, they've gone through all their abusive behaviours towards you, they're now trying to trigger you into reacting, they're projecting onto you any way they can to get that reaction from you, and because you're not giving them the reaction that they believe they're entitled to so that they can blame you, they are most often going to up their games because they get offended by this. They believe you've questioned their authority, their sense of entitlement, the fact that they believe they are special. This is most likely when they might start coming at you, either intimidating you or invalidating you, claiming that you have to ruin everything, that that's just like you, when all you've done is created a boundary. And people with empathy, people who with morals, people who respect you as a person would be willing to understand and respect your boundaries as a person. They'd be willing to understand your beliefs. They'd be willing to understand your values. Quite often people get tangled with a narcissist because they're willing to understand that the narcissist has different beliefs, even if some of their behaviour we find a bit icky and think, oh, I wouldn't really do that. However, that's down to you. If that's who you are, we can respect that in them. Even if we don't appreciate it or like it, we can respect that's who they are. However, they can't return the same favour and respect us for who we are. So they really don't like it when we stop playing their games. When you start doing things that make you happy, when you start living your own life. Many narcissistic parents throw major tantrums when their children start living their own lives. This is when most narcissistic parents are going to come with the guilt trips and the pity plays of, I put a roof over your head after everything I've done for you. And they expect their children to be there for them, to support them, to do things for them. They don't understand that their children have grown into adults and are off to live their own life. This is similar to grown adult narcissistic children. So yes, toddlers can act narcissistic, teenagers can act narcissistic. I'm talking more 26, 27 plus, once their beliefs and values, core values, have been set and they've got 5 of the 9 characteristics of the disorder. These grown adult children are going to expect their parents to be there for them. And as a parent, most parents are going to feel guilty telling their children that they've got to go and earn their own money, that they've got to go and find their own home, because you want to protect and care and love for your children. However, narcissistic adult children are just going to use this to take advantage of their parents, to sponge off their parents when they need to go and live their own life. But the more we support our adult children into not taking care of themselves, the more they learn not to be responsible for their own behaviour, and the worse their narcissistic behaviour can get. Narcissistic exes really don't like it when their ex starts actually creating their own life. A narcissist usually expects to be able to swoop back in with the hoover and pick up where they left off without any form of consequences when it's not working out with the new supply. They don't understand why somebody would suddenly get on with their own life and stop focusing on the narcissist. The narcissist believes they're entitled to that attention. They are arrogant enough to believe that nobody can live without them. Often why they'll say, you'll never find somebody like me. And the whole point in breaking free from a narcissist is you don't want to find anybody like them. You want to avoid people like them. Narcissistic partners will up their game by showing off their new supply, either getting flying monkeys to inform you of a new supply, or showing their social media, perhaps as they once did when they first met you, with all the lovey-dovey photos. This is why it's vital to block and delete social media, because it gets questions about them when you need to be focusing on yourself, as the more you focus on them, the more a narcissist laps up that attention. Narcissistic people really don't like it when you move on. Why many will up the games, why many will start dragging you through the court system, making a divorce last 7 or 8 years. No idea who did that. I'm not going into my life story, but they will drag out a divorce. They will let the children down, and they will blame you for letting the children down. They also don't like it. It's when they've got the children, a lot of narcissists will start getting in touch with you when they've got the children, because they don't want to believe that you're living your life without the children, free time, which is often why many will let the children down, because they know that they're letting you down. They know that you've got to make plans. They know that you're there frustrating your life. They know that they're interrupting your life, and they are doing it because they are vengeful. They are full of revenge and hatred because you are moving on. It's nothing really to do with the children or you, or they're not going to understand how it affects the children when they let them down. They're not going to understand how it affects you. All they're going to understand is they're getting at you and they're stopping you from moving on. However, when you've got the children, most narcissists will rarely be in touch because they're busy doing whatever they want to do. They're not interested, not on the same level that we are interested. When you're living your own life, they most often are going to try and smear your name because they can no longer control you. They want to control how other people see you. They want to control your reputation. They want to control your character. They might intimidate you. They might threaten you because they feel control of you is slipping away. Narcissistic people are extremely envious people. So they're always trying to outdo people. They're always going to try to pull other people down. They're always trying to destroy people, sabotage people, discredit other people's achievements, offer little to no support. Therefore, trying to co-parent with a narcissist doesn't work. When two healthy parents separate, yes, it can be difficult. Yes, there can be disagreements and arguments. That's why they've separated, because they don't get on. However, they have that mutual empathy for the children, so they're going to try and find a way through. We can often hold on to that belief that we can find a way through with a narcissist. You're not going to find a way through with a narcissist, because they are envious of you. When they see you moving on, they don't want to be supportive of you. They want to sabotage you. They will try to ruin your plans any way they can. Dragging you through the court systems keeps you trapped within their lives. It also keeps that financial abuse going. A narcissist simply believes that they should be the centre of attention. They should be the centre of the universe, and everyone should bow down to them. Everyone should agree to them. Everyone should do life exactly how they want to do it, when they want to do it, but other people shouldn't live their own lives. This is why it's vital with a narcissist, if you can, go no contact. No contact is the best approach. If not, it's grey rock and limited contact. Don't tell them anything about yourself, because they resent other people's happiness. When you no longer feel guilt, or you no longer fear them, you can pity them from a distance when you realise that that's who they are, and they're not even willing to help themselves, and other people aren't going to be able to help them, and they're not really that happy people. They're just very envious people that seem to have to destroy others to feel better about themselves. They need you to fear them so that they can control you. They need you to fear them so that you daren't break free, so that you daren't speak up, so that you daren't seek the help that you need. They need you to feel guilty so that they can pull on those emotions to guilt trip you into doing the things they want you to do. Parents, friends, partners, bosses, work colleagues can all use the tactic of ruling through love, ruling through fear, or ruling through guilt. So there is people that admire them, love them, appreciate them, feel gratitude towards them, feel obligated, so will do as the narcissist says out of obligation, not realising who they truly are. Well, there's people who fear them, so will fawn and do as the narcissist says in order to protect themselves, often with no malice intent. It's a case of they feel stuck, they feel there is no other way, and there is those who just feel guilty and they feel like they're letting the narcissist down if they don't do what the narcissist wants. So as soon as you lose those emotional attachments to the narcissist loses control. This is when they might start threatening you by saying they're going to tell people your secrets, your insecurities. Why we have to own our secrets, why we have to own our insecurities, why we can admit faults to ourselves, and we can admit faults to specific people, often narcissistic people, that then use it against us. So we just have to own these and admit that, yes, I've made plenty of mistakes in my life. I'm not perfect. If you feel the need to go and tell people, I will learn the people who believe in me for who I am and the people who just want the gossip. And I don't need those kinds of people in my life anyway. Sometimes it is a very lonely road, doing what is right for you, but that lonely road is far happier than being around people who are wrong for you. Narcissists might up their games with illnesses or claiming that someone they love is ill, because this is going to pull on your empathy. This is going to make you feel guilty by not going to them, by not helping them, because you care about them. And this is when you have to remember the last time that they lied about something similar to this, and actually it's a horrific thing to lie about, claiming you're ill just to get attention from somebody else. Another thing to remember is, if that was the other way around, would they be there for you? Because if they wouldn't, you need to stop being there for them. Life is about give and take. Yes, sometimes it can be 80% one person, 20% the other person, and it can swap round depending who's in need. But at some point it usually levels off. With a narcissist, it's all about them and nothing to do with you. The odd false promise of the future to pull you back up, just to drop you further down each and every time. And the more we forgive them, the worse their behaviour often gets. When you pass responsibility back to the rightful owner, narcissists really don't like that. They rely on blaming others, and they rely on others blaming themselves, so that the narcissist can then guilt trip people, because people feel like they are to blame. So that people forgive the narcissist because people feel like they are to blame. So that people work harder to please the narcissist because they feel like they are to blame. Yes, we all make mistakes. When we've reacted, we have to own our reactions. We have to learn that this person brings out the worst in us, and we no longer want to be around this person. We have to, and we are responsible for our own actions. Just because they're not willing to be responsible for their own doesn't mean we have to take them on as our own. Never pass responsibility back in person, because they're just going to lie, deny, gaslight, blame you, not see it. You can go to a narcissist with facts and evidence, and if they don't want to face the consequences of something, they are going to sit there. It wasn't me, that never happened, you're imagining things, somebody else sent that message. They are going to go all out to avoid taking any form of responsibility, and to frustrate you in the process to get your reactions. Whether they know you're right or not, they're not interested. They just want to watch you going crazy trying to prove it. So you have to pass responsibility back to the rightful owner in your own mind, to take ownership of your own behaviours, learn from your own mistakes, and move on with your life. Narcissists often feel things such as shame, and they remove this shame by passing the blame over to other people, projecting and blame shifting all their insecurities onto others. Narcissists are never looking to source agreements out with you. To them, you're nagging them, or you're bringing the same problems up over and over again, because they're unwilling to find a solution to the problem. To them, it's a case of, you need to deal with that. You're overreacting. You're being too sensitive. You're insecure. So when you stop going to them and start working it out for yourself, they're losing that power over your emotions. They're losing that power over your mind. Often why a narcissist will then provoke an argument in an empty room, because they're no longer getting the attention they believe that they're entitled to. When you move on and reconnect with old family and friends, or start connecting with new friends, starting new hobbies, starting a new life, a narcissist will have gone all out to isolate you. And if they haven't isolated you, they will have caused that many different anxieties and fear, sleep deprivation, ruminating, divide and conquer, triangulation within you, that you will have isolated yourself. So when you start picking yourself back up and creating those friendships again, a narcissist doesn't like that, because they're no longer the puppet master of your lives and your friendship circle. You're moving on. And the main thing that a narcissist really does hate that we do is when we leave and never go back. They feel entitled to have us when it pleases them, when it suits them. They don't believe we are entitled to walk away from them. Walking away from a narcissist means they're no longer getting the attention that they believe they're entitled to. It means they can no longer exploit you in the ways that they believe they're entitled to. They can no longer gain from you in the ways they believe they're entitled to exploit you, to gain from you. Narcissists really don't like people turning their backs on them. However, they are the self-entitled hypocrite, because they are more than happy to turn the backs on you if they don't believe you're serving them and they can see a new supply who would serve them. To a narcissist, we are an appliance to them, where we go and buy a new mobile phone and spend time learning all about that new mobile phone and how it works. And then if we were to crack the screen, we either go and replace the screen or we go and buy a new phone. If the new one breaks, we might take parts off the old one to fix the new, or we might go back to the old one temporarily while the new gets fixed. We pick up a mobile phone when we need it. We put a mobile phone down when we don't need it. However, most of us, if we misplace and feel like we've lost our mobile phone, we get very annoyed with ourselves and we want to find it. With a narcissist, how a phone serves us to, in many different ways these days, but mainly to connect with other people. People supply a narcissist with that attention and they believe they're entitled to get it by any means possible. Narcissists need people to be dependent on them. They almost create those feelings of codependency within those around them. A narcissist fears abandonment most often, why they need to move on from one supply to the next, or if they haven't got a partner giving supply, they will have a parent or a friend, or they will have somebody that can supply them with that attention. They have to create those feelings of codependency, of the people pleasing, the fear of abandonment, the false hope within the people they are around, so that they can control those people. Often why narcissists isolate people from support. So the main thing a narcissist dislikes more than anything in the world is people being themselves, because a narcissist can never truly be themselves. They go around people pleasing under the false pretenses that they want the same things as you, only as it's not what they want. Once they've got their needs met, they're no longer interested in pleasing or helping out that person. They fear abandonment, so they have to pull people down so that they can control people, so that people don't do what they perceive as better than them. They are in competition with others. They're not willing to raise people up. They need supply lined up so that they've always got somebody there. The biggest thing you do that a narcissist dislikes is living your own life and living it well. I shall add into the description the 12 ways a narcissist distracts you from the truth. It might be 15 ways a narcissist distracts you from the truth. I am full for one-to-one coaching. I have partnered with BetterHelp and their sponsored link is also in the description. There is also 4 online courses in the description, which are just a step-to-step guide to understanding and overcoming narcissism. One of the things we have to learn is no matter what we say, no matter what we do, no matter how many different ways we approach the situation, a narcissist is not going to understand our point of view unless they can exploit our point of view to meet a need of their own. If anyone else has anything they spotted that you do that narcissistic people really don't like, please do add this into the comments, as it's all about raising awareness and raising understanding so that people can move on and live their best life. Thank you very much for listening. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.